What's up, guys? Mindless again. I'm back from Blade 2015, and I thought I'd like to share what I scored. So this is my first Blade show. I've been collecting for quite a few years, and I don't know why I was kind of motivated to go out this year to fly from California to Atlanta to finally check out the Blade show. Over the past few years, I'd say especially the last 2 or 3 years, a lot of the makers are starting to make some really cool stuff for Blade. They always have, but recently there's been pieces that have been coming out only at Blade that were for open bid or whatnot. And that got me thinking earlier in 2015, January, February, maybe I should go. And, many of us who are watching this video are members of the USN or other forums, and we're lucky that a lot of the makers that we like participate in those forums. So we were able to see some of the special pieces, the one-off pieces that they were preparing to take to Blade. And you're either going to get them through a lottery system, which is pure luck, or they would be available for open or closed bid, basically an auction for the night. And this year, as Blade started to approach, a lot of my favorite makers started putting up some pieces that were motivation enough for me to get off my ass, fly the few thousand miles to Atlanta, and try to score these one-of-a-kind pieces. So, you know what? I didn't do too bad. In front of you right here are the majority of the pieces. There is one other piece that's not here, and it's with a friend. But basically, I wanted to kind of share what I scored, but also kind of give an overview or just an accounting of how the weekend went for those of us or of you who have never been to Blade or to a large knife show in any form. So I figured, hell, you know what? Might as well have some great eye candy and chat about the weekend in general. So before we get started, let's just look at some of the pieces, and at least I can explain what you're looking at. So as we speak about the weekend in general terms, you know what you're looking at specifically in front of you. So all these pieces were scored at Blade, either through lottery, open bid, or trades. And that's something that's not talked about a lot, is that you're amongst other collectors. So it's an opportune time to trade or work a deal for that piece you're looking for. So let's just get started. Let's start right here. This is a Nalu Capitalist. Beautiful piece, flipper, frame lock. And I have been looking for a Nalu, guys, for a long time. So I'm stoked to have this piece. It's absolutely a beautiful specimen too. The finish is just awesome for everyday use. And again, I'm stoked to have a piece from Nalu. He's a great maker. If you haven't heard of him, I'm sure all the real collectors have, but if you haven't, check out his stuff. It's awesome. Two pieces that I definitely went to Blade to get or try to get were from Brad Blunt's workshop from JBB Knives. The first one was the Phase. This is his newest model. And yeah, I love it. Got a satin finish on this one. Super dark. Killer action. I mean, this thing fires so easily. And I was lucky enough to score one of these. This piece right here, you'll recognize from Brad posting himself. This is one of his open bid special pieces that he made, and I decided to have a go at it, and I won. So you're looking at a dress milliwatt model, Damascus and zirconium backspacer, pocket clip, just a great knife. Action is outstanding, flips super hard. Just a great piece. Next up is another piece that I specifically traveled for because I knew Tashi was going to be there. Tashi, who I know most of you guys know, I'm a great fan of his design work. And rarely does he make pieces himself. This year he made 3 new models just for Blade, and this was the open bid knife. This was the piece that was up for auction. And it's slightly different than the other models in that the scale is full zirconium. This is the Church with a presentation slide in zirconium. You can kind of see it darker. Also the pocket clip in zirconium. Just an absolutely beautiful piece. Tashi's making abilities are out of this world. It is probably one of the best built knives in my entire collection. It's really an honor to have that piece, and I was lucky enough to win that open bid. Next to it, this was a delivery to me at Blade from Mr. Ray Laconico. So I got to shake his hand, and we're both from California, so it's strange that we both traveled all the way to Atlanta. But this is the Raider, the newest Tashi collaboration piece. You can see Laconico's maker's mark on the spine, and there's Tashi's maker's mark proudly on the blade. This is a great knife. And again, I got this delivered. I got a phone call while I was on the floor that, hey, are you here? I am. I have your Raider if you want to come pick it up. So I ran over and grabbed it. This piece right here is a piece that I traveled knowing that it was there, and I wanted to try to take it down. This is a full Zirc flipper from Tough Thumbs, from Tough Knives. And prior to Blade, Jeff had kind of reached out to me and told me that this would be available. It's an extra thick blade stock, really cool. New jimping, I haven't seen him use before, but an absolute beast of a flipper. A lot of zirconium this year, which means a lot of fingerprints, so forgive me. I'll try to wipe them down as we go through. Just a great, great piece to add to my Tough Knives collection. Great action as well. Next to that is from a maker that many of you haven't heard of and is new to me. It's a Theory Savidon. This maker is from France, and actually Tashi, I was speaking to him and he kind of walked me over to his table and showed me this piece, and I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. Tashi mentioned that this guy is a great maker, is recognized as a great maker in France. And this piece was first come, first serve, and it was literally the last piece he had on his table. So you're looking at titanium bolster, full zirconium on both sides, and it's an absolutely killer flipper. Just great action, hand rub, satin finish, rounded spine, just a beautiful piece. It kind of looks like a Tashi piece too with the high handle, but you know, just a great, great knife in general. The action again is just phenomenal. Next up is another open bid that I decided to take a crack at. I knew it was going to be there, but I didn't think I was going to go for it. But once I saw it in person, I had to try at least. There's a great story on this one too. The Friday evening while I was hanging out in the pit, I got a chance to chat with Nick from NCC Knives and Robert Carter, and they kind of mentioned that this piece was still open for bids, and once I handled it and saw it, I was just taken. I had to have it. Razor wire Damascus, black Damascus inlay, black Damascus pocket clip, Damascus pivot color, and this is a collaboration called the Mark 16. So it's the Mark line from NCC Knives and the F16 handle modified. From Robert Carter, and absolutely one of the just killer action. Great lockup, just a great knife all around. So I was supremely stoked to be able to score this one. And in this final one, I was able to get through a dealer through Sacco, who traveled out from California as well. And this is probably, of all these pieces, this is the grayliest of them all. This is a Tom Mayo Lee Williams collaboration with the kickstop. So you notice the flipper tab just disappears. Beautiful, simple Tom Mayo styling with just hints of Lee Williams. You can see the cutouts here. You see that on the Williams knives. But the most important thing is that flipper tab. It'll just pop up right here. There it is. Loosey-goosey. So those are the knives that I scored. Overall, I couldn't be happier. Essentially every piece that I was looking to score, or the pieces that I was traveling specifically to try to take down, I was able to get, plus, a few more that I was just really blessed, honored to be able to even have a chance to take home with me. So I arrived at the Blade Show in Atlanta on Friday afternoon, and the show was well underway when I got there. So I went straight into the convention center around, I'd say around 4 or 5 o'clock. And, first experience in anything this large, I was truly overwhelmed. I walked into the main floor and was just blown back by just the sound even. It was just a beehive of activity. I don't think it ever translates in pictures, but there are so many exhibitors and tables and booths that it almost feels overwhelming. Like for a moment, I actually thought, dude, I don't even know where to start. And I literally, for the first time ever in my life, grabbed the map and the list of exhibitors and tried to figure out which one of my favorite makers were, where they were located. And it began. And literally, for the first 2 hours, from 4 p.m. till about 6 p.m., all I did was look for people. And the cool part is, and this is where it caught me off guard, while I was walking around, I decided to write my my USN name and my YouTube and IG name on my visitors pass, and people actually recognized me, and it was kind of amazing because so did I. I'd walk around and I'd see people's handles on their tags, and I follow you on Instagram, I follow you on YouTube, we've chatted on the USN or Blade forums or whatever, all these different social media outlets, and now for once we're meeting face to face. And I quickly realized that was the point of Blade. It's, yes, you're going there to score knives, and it's it's all that, and that's great, and you're going there to meet makers and kind of ask questions, get some cool swag and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all about building and fortifying the relationships that already existed. I want to take a moment just to especially thank Jeff Tough Thumbs, because he knows of me online because I have so many of his pieces, but we actually had a chance to hang out, talk at length, and he's one of the greatest guys out there, and makes me respect him even more as a knife maker. The list of people that you'll meet at a Blade show or a gathering is just outstanding. Name the maker. I mean, look at just these knives. The makers of all these, I shook their hands, save Nalu. He wasn't there. But everybody else, I was able to talk, discuss the knives, ask what's coming down the pipeline, kind of share my love for their pieces, which pieces are my favorite or not, or what were they thinking when they created them. And for like a knife collector, or if this is truly a hobby to you, that's like, it's heaven. You're walking around and you have access to all these amazing makers. And it kind of brings me to a point, and I've fallen prey to this too. With a lot of these knife makers, as we collect in our normal everyday lives, you look at their work like something like this and you're just blown away by the quality. And I don't know why, but your mind thinks that maybe it's this huge operation, and I mean, logically it's just a maker, but I don't know why you think there are these, I don't know, the images in my mind were different than what I saw in real life. These are the most down-to-earth people out there, and they are stoked to speak to people who love their work. I had a chance to really talk to Robert Carter, Nick, and about this piece, and honestly, they're the most humble guys, and they're so stoked to meet a collector that really appreciates their work. You realize how many hours, how much sweat goes into making a piece like this. And, myself or whomever bidding on the knife or trying to get it in the lottery is actually taken as a compliment. And that's a very refreshing thing to me. Some knife makers are extremely popular. For example, like Brad Blunt. JBB knives, you guys know the secondary market. His knives go for huge numbers, and they're rare. They're hard to get in good condition. The most down-to-earth, normal dude you'd ever meet. Just a straight-up good guy. And that happened in every conversation I had with every single maker here. You know, when I got to speak with Ray Laconico for a little bit, he is such a humble, soft-spoken, good-hearted guy, and you could tell that within 30 seconds of speaking to him. And, you know, he was thanking me for buying this knife, and I wanted to be like, dude, are you kidding me? Thank you so much for even giving me the chance to score this knife for my collection. So it's a very refreshing thing. It made me love the hobby of knife collecting even that much more, you know. So fast forward to the end of Friday night, you know, you're done. Blade closes at 7. You head back to the hotel, and there's the famous or infamous pit. And the pit is essentially the lobby of the hotel attached to the convention center, but everybody comes down there after dinner and brings their knives. And the coolest thing in the world happens, guys. It doesn't matter if you know anybody or nobody. It doesn't matter. I traveled by myself from California, so I had nobody with me. My wife stayed home. I'm going out there to, I don't know. I'm just going out there to check out knives to hopefully score some cool pieces. And quickly in the pit, you realize that through the social media, you know a lot of these people, and they know you. And even if you don't know who they are and they don't know who you are, all you have to do is walk up and say, how'd you do today? What'd you score? And immediately everybody starts flipping out knives, and you just hear pack, 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 pack. Everybody's pulling out what they scored that day or what they won in auction, whatever. And a conversation begins. And that, guys, is such an awesome feeling. For the simple, first of all, that, you know, perfect strangers within 15 minutes are getting along as friends. Just like that. But even more importantly is every conversation is based on these things right here. And if you truly love knives and you really collect and you care and you want to handle as many knives as you can, the activities in the pit after the blade show day ends, it's heaven. It truly is. It truly is. I enjoyed my time hanging out in the pit equally as much as walking around the convention center trying to find the next score or run between auctions. And it's just such a refreshing thing. I mean, honestly, I slept very little. I traveled a lot, but I've come home completely refreshed. I'm not exhausted in any way. Honestly, I feel lucky to have gone. So Saturday rolls around, and I decide, I'm going in right in the morning. I'm here. I'm not wasting any time. I'm going in for the kill. I'm going to try to, score these knives. And by Friday night, I only had a couple knives. Saturday morning, it's go time. I mean, that is the big day for the convention center. The locals, other people who have traveled who can only come on the weekends. That's when they show up, and oh my goodness, it was cranking. I had a chance to meet even more people, and have more time with the knife makers. It's hilarious. Like the day before, I didn't even know them. Friday night we hang out and have some cocktails. Saturday morning we're bumping into each other on the convention floor, and we're buddies. It is, and it's the truth. It's not fake. I mean, we all connect on the fact that we have a lot of love for knives. So Saturday goes by, auctions are going down, and lo and behold, I'm beginning to win these open bids, and I am just overjoyed. So I'm running around collecting up all these pieces, and I have almost like a surreal moment where I'm just standing there and the hum is going on around me, and I realize that, this hobby, this game of knife collecting is going to be with me for my entire life. I absolutely love these little marvels of engineering. And the Blade Show allowed me to see more than just tactical folders and what I'm into. I really was exposed to fixed blades, many different types of traditional knives, slip joints. I even had a chance to go and look at material, you know, guys that were selling wood and carbon fiber and Damascus to kind of see what's going on, you know, meet everybody that's associated with the knife game, from like Jim Skelton to all the video guys, Jerry Todd. It was just a blast, and it just solidified the fact that this hobby is with me for life. I truly, truly love it. Am I going to be collecting as voraciously as I have been over the past few years? Probably not. You know, you hit a wall eventually, but overall, I know this hobby will be with me, and I understand why the collectors in the community are so tight, because once you're bitten by this bug and you link up with others who have the same bug, they're family. And I think that's the point of this video today, guys, is if you can get out to Blade or the Gathering or TKI or even a local knife show, you have to go. You have to give it a shot. You have to, you know, mingle with other knife enthusiasts, because it's good for your soul, straight up. It's good to make friends that have the same hobbies, and it's the way you're going to have the opportunity to score beautiful knives like this from Jeff. You know, it takes those relationships. My last video was about how do I score my knives, and not, you know, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, that's what it's all about. Building those relationships. You know, I had the chance to speak with Frank Fisher, with Stan Wilson for a long time, not like 2 minutes in passing. I really had a chance to chat with them and kind of see what they're all about, have them explain their life, where they live, what state they live in. And honestly, I'm proud to be able to say that, you know, they're my friends. I would help them and do what I do for true friends. So I'm rambling. This video is going on long. Forgive me. But I thought I'd share, because a lot of people are asking what was I able to score at Blade. But I think more importantly, I wanted to share the overall emotional feeling, the overall overwhelming nature of Blade, but most importantly, the family, friendships, relationships that are established and built, and that will continue on for years as I go to next year's Blade and the following, and I will be going. It was an absolute treat to meet everybody there. Far too many names for me to even say out, but everybody who I met, I appreciate you guys kind of welcoming me with open arms. Chris Goodwin, everybody around. I got a chance to speak with all these great makers, like absolute masters and up-and-comers, and kind of understand what makes them, what drives them to be knife makers, and meet other collectors and see what stages they're in their collecting, and basically just make new friends who share the same passion for knives. It was a great, great time, and I encourage all you guys to go. I hope to see you guys at the Gathering. If not, at TKI. If not, next year at Blade. Count on me being there, okay? Thanks for taking a few minutes out to check out my vid. I'm going to have a couple more videos coming out shortly. They're going to go back to reviewing specific knives, so forgive me, 2 videos in a row with a bunch, but I'll go back to, I'm going to do one on all these pieces probably and give you up-close HD looks at them and my opinions on them. But again, thanks for, you know, stopping in and checking out my videos. If you have any questions, hit me up. I appreciate you stopping in. Take it easy.